over the past week, we've had a good amount of upset over the whole Julius coming back thing from the brink of death. And people have been upset about it, and I can understand why. The issue is where it breaks away from personal opinion and where some people are saying, it doesn't make sense. The story, it's an ass pull, it came out of nowhere. That's not true at all. So, from the standpoint of, personal opinion, there was some, wants for, Yami's character experiencing so much more than he'll probably get now. Because we did get reflection from Yami about, his feelings with, loss of Julius, but it could have extended further out from it. Now, again, stuff like this would have been really cool, personally, just to see his character have a lot more emotional aspects brought up. But we know that from the small bits we got that, Yami's opinions of Julius are a lot more personal. He does see him much more as a role model figure, whether that be like a brother, like a big brother, or a father. But now it can kind of get reversed, which still has its own potential for Julius, now that he's younger and seemingly weaker, assuming that page on the very last part of 214 was his grimoire, all that's left of it. But there were things leading up for clues that this was going to happen. Tabata clearly had planned this from the start, and not just the start of the arc, seemingly from the start of the series. And when I say, like, oh, he planned it from the start of at least this arc, we know that he made emphasis that the mark on Julius's forehead, as it was crumbling away, it even got its own panel to say, look at this thing, what's going on here as it's crumbling. So we already knew that it had significance. Now, in my stream yesterday, well, unless you watch this video much later than the day I upload it, but in the stream that I did the day prior to this video, it was brought to my attention what the mark on Julius's head means. I figured it had something to do with like a clock of some kind, and maybe it was just some time representation thing. But it was brought up that the rune, actually, the mark on his head, it's called the Hegel rune. It's one of the armament runes, and the seventh one of it, it actually it means by definition. And I copy it right here and then put it down, and then I, for some reason, prepared for the video. But it essentially is like a sign that he knew what he was doing. So it says, like, again, if you know more about this, tell me in the comments and correct me anything I'm getting wrong. But it says Hagalas is a frozen hail that goes from water to hail and then goes to water again. It's transformation and destruction that leads the way for rebirth when the water thaws. It is a crisis. It is crisis or radical change, which again we got. So the whole thing is saying how water becomes hail and then becomes water again. It is a sign of a rebirth, healing, and its own cycle of recreation. Well, not maybe recreation, but its own natural cycle of becoming and then undoing. And we got that. And it wasn't just, he had setups in there. We had explanations of why he gave that speech like it seemed he was going to die. Because Julius, even though he had this mark on his head, he didn't know it was going to work. He said it was a gamble because he didn't know if it would activate properly. And I feel like this argument is absurdly strong, because how would you know if it worked or not? Are you going to kill yourself? Because then, like, what if it doesn't work? You're going to die. He's not going to tell Yami about it, because if it doesn't work, he just gave him false hope. And, when you look at stuff like this, and it's even funnier when you find much more evidence that Tabata was planning it all along, and it wasn't just like something he decided at the start of the arc. It adds an extra layer of, why are you complaining about it? Because if it's something that makes sense in the story and clearly was set up, foreshadowed, there was explanations behind it, then you can't complain about it in the aspect of saying like, oh, it's an ass pull and whatever. You can have personal opinions. There's a lot of people that think he should have stayed dead, but for me, even though I would have preferred him to stay dead for the sake of Yami, getting some further development, further kind of like reflections off of their relationship, losing Julius like he thought he did. But what I care more about is what's important to the story, what makes sense, what fits, and what Tabata's doing. You know, he's clearly got a plan. Like, again, the fact that this had been plain sight since day one, I imagine anybody who knew anything about these runes probably had some idea what's going on. I wish they shared that before so we could have, foresaw this coming. But for now, I'm trying to keep this video short. Tell me in the comment section below again if you know anything more about these runes. Tell me, because I want to see more, maybe find out more of what Julius, displayed throughout the series that had more evidence of Tabata having this planned out. Like, we already know the dude could affect himself with time, reverse time to heal his wounds. And, what was the point of the forehead mark? Okay, we found out, he was storing magic within his time magic. In case of, he died, it would pretty much be a backup. It could potentially save him in that process. We don't know how difficult it was to do. We know he knows how to do it, but, like, we don't know if it takes, like, decades to get it prepared or what. We just know that he knows how to do it, and he could potentially... What's funny is he could potentially live forever, which is, again, fully within the realm of somebody who manipulates time. But we'll see. I'm very intrigued to see where he goes now. I'm hoping he joins the Black Bulls. But for now, again, comment below. Tell me any more information that you know of. Any other scenes within the series that would indicate Julius actually, like, this coming back being foreshadowed. I've seen, like, the comment of, like, him saying, oh, he directly said he wasn't going to die. But that's just a comment. That just means, like, I'm not going to die here. I'm going to win. And he easily could have. We already know that he only lost to Patriot because he was trying to save William, and then up to the point where Patriot was just like, well, fuck your people, and he knew that Julius would sacrifice himself pretty much to save him. But again, comment below, thumbs up the video, friend the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. For that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.